Hi guys, in this Focus Check episode, I'm talking to David Bros. He is an app developer.
That's why in this app, I've tried to recreate this kind of color response.
And he wants to revive the digital Bolex project.
I wanted to create an app that is not just a filter or just a LUT applied to the picture. So I tried my best, to get the original signal of the iPhone and then try to convert every node that I was using in my usual DaVinci workflow and then translate it into code.
Let's dive right into it.
This is Focus Check, the weekly CineTech podcast.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of a CineD Focus Check, and today I have a special guest star. And I'm talking about David Bros. David, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
I'm very happy to have you with me here. Usually we're really trying to host people that are helping, contributing in a close contact with our industry. And you are an entrepreneur, you are developing apps, you are a DOP, and you also have a vision to revive the Bolex. I hope you guys remember the Bolex camera again. So let's dive into it. And of course, I do have a couple of questions for you. First of all, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you, and thank you for having me in your podcast. That's a great honor for me.
No, thank you for joining me. Now, you've been a director of photography for quite some time, but then your life took a little bit of a twist. Tell me about it.
Yeah, I'm working in image side since 20 years almost, okay? It started in 2006 when I graduated in photo development lab. And I began, working as a photojournalist actually at the beginning of my career. And step by step, I moved to filmmaking, went back to school, learned color grading. I graduated in color grading too. Then I've joined a program in Louis Lumière, that's a public school of cinema in France. And then I ran a company, a filmmaking company for almost 10 years before to flip to woodworking, actually.
To woodworking. So from filmmaking to woodworking, is there any similarity?
I don't know if there is similarities, but after the COVID, I lost the many job that I have, during this period, and things start to move in my mind, and then after that, I said, yeah, I like to do woodworking, and that's why I moved to this new job. But I've never quit pictures and image. I'm still doing stuff, less, more, but I'm still doing some stuff.
Less and more, yeah, but obviously you're still connected. But one of the most significant parts in your, let's say, current assignments, you developed an app for an iPhone that literally is simulating a certain Kodak look. And maybe it's not really a lot, it's actually more than that, and we will talk in a second. But what led you to develop such an app, and where do you have the experience and even the knowledge to do something like this?
Yeah, I know it may sound a little bit weirdo, to be in woodworking and then also programming and then DOP. But I've been in computer stuff since a very long time. I'm a big fan of hacking, actually. When I was teenager,
of hacking, you said?
Yes. When I was teenager, I was, hacking stuff.
Okay, what did you hack lately?
Camera firmware.
Okay, so back to the app.
And I have created Digilog for me at first, because, I was spending a lot of time in my workshop, and I had to take picture of everything, and it was so time consuming for me, to shoot with my regular cameras, and then go back to the computer, do the editing, and then posting, and that's actually what led me, to create Digilog.
Okay, so what is the uniqueness of Digilog?
I wanted to create an app that is not just a filter or just a LUT applied to the picture. So I tried my best, to get the original signal of the iPhone and then try to convert every node that I was using in my usual DaVinci workflow and then translate it into code, okay? So that's why it's a little bit special, Digilog, and that's why it's also CPU and GPU consuming rather than other apps.
But what was the end goal? What type of look did you try to simulate here?
I know, analog photography and analog film stock a lot because that's what I used at first for years. And even when I was really working every day on the picture side of my career, I was often asked for the Kodak 500T, okay, kind of look. And that's why in this app I've tried to recreate this kind of color response.
And
like the Kodak.
How many men's hours did you put into this?
That's about months.
Months.
Yeah.
What is the biggest challenge to create such an app?
The biggest challenge when you are making an iPhone app is to going through the limitation of Apple's limitations. Because they are very concerned about what you are doing with their material, with their devices, and there is, I don't want to be too technical here, but you can create an app, on your computer, and you can deploy it on your iPhone. Something is going to work, but as soon as you are submitting this app to Apple, they check the code and then can refuse your app. Okay? It happens 15 times to me before Digilog has been verified by Apple.
But at least they give a reason why they're refusing you, so you can improve?
They give you a few sentences, okay, to lead you in the good direction, and if you don't understand, you can call them.
Good luck. Okay, I understand. So, in regards to Digilog, and I want to concentrate on the video aspect of the app, because we have so many apps in the market, like Magic Design and also Apple themselves and so on. What is the uniqueness of this specific one?
I think that I have proved something with Digilog, especially regarding the OpenGate recording. And if you are using Digilog, you can shoot OpenGate even if you have older devices, okay? And Apple said that was not possible, and I think I just proved the contrary. And the other thing is that like I said at the beginning, this is not a filter, and you have a real-time color processing. I think that's one of the only apps that it is doing this thing.
So, first of all, you said that earlier versions of iPhone are also supported. So, what can we expect from which iPhone 15 or even before?
You can use Digilog even if you have like the iPhone SE, the third generation. I think it's working from there.
Okay, and when it comes to OpenGate, in what resolution it's working?
I have just allowed the 4K resolution because so many people was asking for that. But actually, I cannot be sure if you are running the 4K resolution on older devices. I'm almost sure that you're going to have drop frames.
Okay, but
because it's too much resources consuming.
Okay, but when it comes to more modern phones like iPhone 15 Pro or 17 Pro or 16, doesn't matter, of course, you can guarantee that it will work?
As far as I know, I did not get any feedback until today about frame drop on the more modern devices. What I have in feedback, it's sometimes the audio is not recording.
That's what I had too.
That's the main issue that I have. That's
right. I have to say that I tried of course I tried the app, and don't think that I'm now surfing. I opened the app and I didn't have audio. That was quite surprising for me. I should have tried it before. Why is it so challenging with the audio?
I think there is a conflict between audio session in the iPhone itself. You know, for example, I have noticed that if you have a Spotify open or even the app, the phone app, you know, that is running behind, some crazy stuff can happen with the audio. If you have, multiple applications that it is calling the audio function of the iPhone.
Okay, maybe it's tech priorities. So I have to say that one of the things that I really like in the app is, first of all, how simple it is to navigate in the settings. Very easy, very straightforward. You can choose between two film stocks. One is the Kodak 500T and the other one is the RE709. Why did you choose the RE709?
Because sometimes you need something just a little bit more simple and more neutral. I think the Kodak 500T color processing is sometimes not working in every situation.
Yeah, it's very strong. It's very dominant. Yeah. Okay. And when it comes to the Kodak, you can either record in ProRes or HEVC.
Yes, that was a big struggle for me, also the HEVC, because at the very beginning I was recording in H.264 and I had problem when I released the app, that was very working fine here, and as soon as it went public, the things collapsed. But that's why I have changed now to H.265 and I don't know for what reason it's working now.
I have to tell you, in a way, it's a bit funny because you expect when you release an app to work as good as possible, and you are very honest and saying, guys, you know what? I'm trying. It's also important to say that this app is free, but we will touch this in a second because, of course, when it's free, it gives the kind of assurance that it's okay not to work 100% in a way. When it comes to frame rates, you chose, at the beginning it was only 25 and 30, and only recently in the last release you added 24. Was that also challenging?
No. The 24p is just something that I forgot.
French people have a really strange sense of humor, I think. No, I'm joking, David. Don't take me seriously. Okay, so you just forgot. Okay.
And people are asking for higher frame rates, but I think it's not possible. I have to do some tests first because it's once again it's too much processing for the iPhone.
Okay, and when it comes to resolution, it's either Full HD, 2K or 4K. So you're really utilizing the most of what the iPhone can give right now.
Yeah, because people are asking for this. I will not use 4K in when I am using Digilog. I am not shooting in 4K because
why?
Because I know that it is going to be maybe published on Instagram, and for that reason I don't need it simply. But I understand that some people wanted 4K resolution if they are editing later the footage.
Okay, good. And of course, and this was a bit of a surprise for me, there's an anamorphic mode. You can really choose between not having it, or 133 squeeze, 1.5, or even 2. And personally, I have to thank you for that because I'm a big advocate of anamorphic. Do you also have the kind of some love to anamorphic, and that's why you included it, or was there another reason?
I spent my whole life shooting in anamorphic.
Wow.
That's why. And it connects to something important for me because I think the look of the iPhone is too digital anyway, and I think that if we are using small lenses on the iPhone, it breaks this digital look of the iPhone and the tiny sensor. And this is something that I am going to work on. Produce some anamorphic lenses and maybe depth of field adapter for iPhones.
Aha, okay.
Because it connects to what I am doing now with woodworking and making furniture and objects. I have now big machines in my workshop. I have a big CNC machine, and I can machine aluminium, acrylic glass, wood, and so many more materials. And it opens, a world of possibilities for me.
Sounds great. I have the machine. Let's make lens. Why not?
Exactly.
Yeah. No, we have a lot of love here for anamorphic lenses, and of course, in my fantasies, maybe one day we will also make lenses, especially now that large format cameras are becoming very popular. But it's always really to find the actual selling point in a way, because so many companies are now making lenses, and they're beautiful glass out there in very diverse price ranges. So it's to find the uniqueness, because otherwise, if you don't do something unique, it's really what for?
Yeah, but I think, for example, you are talking about anamorphic lenses. I think Blazar has done a very good job by making good glasses at a very reasonable price.
I think you're right. I think this is one of those companies that really strike a good balance between quality, like image quality, and mechanical quality, and the look and the price.
They are not joking. They are not joking.
No, not at all. Not at all. Good. I mean, we will go back and talk about anamorphics in a second, and then you have M settings memorized. That's also new. That's really nice, because I think that was one of the requests from the community. When you leave the app, when you come back, that everything is kind of still there, and not you have to start from the beginning.
Now the app is used by 14,000 people around the world. So I let you imagine how many messages I get every day for do this, add this, remove that, change this.
Well, I can only sympathize with you, but I really hope that after talking to you and kind of helping a bit to expose you to the world, not that suddenly it become with even double messages, but I'm happy to be blamed here. Great. So 14,000 people. Now tell me, you decided that to kind of distribute your app for free, and of course, whoever think that he wants to donate, he or she are more than welcomed. It doesn't strike your mind sometimes when you say 14,000, even if I had €1 for whatever, my financial status would have been a bit better. Why for free?
Why for free? Because I really do believe to the open source, okay? And, even with woodworking, I am publishing my plans, okay? Anyone can redo what I am doing in my workshop. And it's working. I mean, I still have my job, you see what I mean? And this is not a product. That's the most important thing. This is a tool, open tool, and I think when something is free, you have more people using it, you have more feedback, and I think overall it makes the app getting better and better every day. And no, I'm not afraid at all with this donation model.
Don't get me wrong, I'm a strong believer whenever it's possible to contribute back to the community, and giving such free stuff is really great. But just between us, because nobody else is listening, are people donating?
Yes, they are, and enough to buy some film stocks. And so I'm going to buy real Kodak 500T, and with students, with the Cinema School of Bordeaux, we are going to shoot some side-by-side test and to compute new color matrices. So that's only because people had donate to this Digilog project.
Very nice. So what I heard from you that you are also educating the younger generation when it comes to filmmaking.
Yes, I did not talk about it earlier in this discussion, but I'm also a teacher. Yeah, I'm teaching lighting and color grading.
Very nice.
And since more than 10 years now. So I had like 600 people through my lessons.
Very nice. So
and that's a very important point, I think, because when I have those kids, because they are young, I try to give all the tips I know. You know, I'm not keeping like they will see later. No, like Digilog, I try to be the most open and give everything I know to them. You know.
But when you talk to the young generation, what is your impression? Because obviously, those kids will grow up in a completely different surroundings that we were kind of exposed to. AI might rule their world, and speed, you know, it's like amazing how fast things are being done now. Those phones are democratized in general, all the filmmaking scenario. When you talk to them and when you see them, what do you think of them?
You know, I'm teaching since 10 years, and I've seen the evolution, okay, of the people that I have in front of me. Now I am talking to kids that don't even know what VHS cassette are, okay? Yeah, even DVD, you know. So
Unbelievable.
no, I feel them lost, actually.
Oh,
Lost between technology, between marketing, between I want to be a YouTuber, between all, you see what I mean, and that's why I try to give them the all the advices that I can, and I try to be the most simple as I can, even concerning regarding the gear, because I see so many kids asking for Ari, Alexa, you know, right away. They have 18 years old and they want to buy or rent an Alexa for their first projects. Because they have seen on YouTube this guy, or you see what I mean, or this red Komodo, and they are now believing if they don't have this type of gear, they cannot do something because they don't have dynamic range enough or stuff like that. And I am trying to break all these fake ID one by one. That's the main thing that I do at the beginning when I meet them the first days and weeks.
yeah. My experience is that a lot of the young generation, they will think that the gear make you professional, while it's vice versa. Well, if you're a professional, it doesn't matter what you work with, if you can create beautiful images. That's the first thing. And the second thing is, maybe you also notice there are no more cameramen around. Everybody is a director of photography. I'm a cameraman. Yeah. Everybody is doing big movies suddenly, and that's it. Sometimes I will look around and say, am I the only one that left being a cameraman? But I think you notice this too. If you're talking to the younger generation, everybody's a director of photography right after, even before school, but of course after learning, after studying.
I have also artistic director. That comes a lot.
Maybe in France. What is artistic director?
You know, when you shape the overall project, you know, you give all the direction, all the artistical direction.
Art director. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No problem. Good. Okay, but obviously your capabilities and talent doesn't stop here. One of the projects that you really liked from the past was the Bolex project, and maybe we can just remind our audience. I think it was 2018. Two people, actually, I forgot the names. Let me just quickly.
That's Joe Rubinstein.
Rubinstein, of course. And Ellie went together, made a very successful Kickstarter campaign for a camera, a 16mm camera with Kodak CCDs, unlike the CMOS that you can find in all those modern cameras. At that time, the camera could shoot up to 2K, if I'm not mistaken, and was very revolutionary at that time. I mean, the Kickstarter campaign really went wild. I think more than 700 people backed up the project, and it was quite successful. They made quite a lot of money that allowed them to move forward and actually even bring the camera to the market. But I think at some point, the CCDs from Kodak that they used maybe became too expensive or maybe not so easy to find, from what I remember, and they had to cease operation. Now, how do you come to the picture?
I think, this camera, that was a great project. And I think it also stopped because there were problem with the investors, okay? With the vision of Joe Rubinstein and the investors' vision. And what led me to think about recreate this camera, it's because, to be honest, that's because I wanted one. And when you are looking on eBay, for example, the price of this camera became crazy, like a collector kind of article. And so I start start thinking what is this sensor? Can we do something today? And it took quite a time just to list what I needed to create this camera, and then I start to look around on the internet, the Kodak sensor, how to make it work, and I found 4 units of them.
You mean you found 4 sensors?
Sensors, yes.
Okay, but for a camera you need only 3, am I right?
Excuse me, I don't understand.
How many sensors do you need for? Because in the old days you'd have 3 sensors per camera, so the Bolex was using a single sensor? I can't remember. Single sensor. Yeah. Okay. Talking about old cameras that kind of disappeared, do you remember Iconoscope?
Yep. Very weirdo shape.
I love the shape, but that was also, I think it was a Swedish project, also around full HD or 2K, and those guys never really succeed to bring it to the market, from what I remember. But I think they were using exactly the same sensor, the Kodak CCD. Okay, so now you have 4 sensors. What does it mean? Are you going to try to license the name, contact Joe Rubinstein, or what's the idea?
Okay, I have been already in contact with Joe Rubinstein because I went to some point where I had difficulties to import my DNGs into DaVinci Resolve, okay? Everything was working except the white balance slider in the raw tab development, you see what I mean? And Joe gave me one of the first DNGs, when they were in the first phase of the project, and it saved me months of working because the answer was just in front of me, but I was not seeing it. Okay, I had the good info, but I was sending the good info to the wrong place. To be simple, so I was lost since weeks, and in one day I solved my problem. Joe solved my problem. So now I have a working encoder, recorder, and actually everything is working now, from the preview, recording, and then the files in DaVinci Resolve.
But let's presume that you will move forward. We will talk about what still to expect. But is Kodak still making those CCDs?
No, I don't think so.
So you're spending all of those hours. I mean, if it's just to learn, it's really great. But if you aim to build a business model around it, what then?
This digital Bolex resurrection project was for me the starting point of something. Okay, first learning, and then move to something else. Now that I have the whole process working, I know that I can use other type of sensors. Okay, and I think that's my goal now when I am thinking about custom camera. Okay, I know that I have all the working chain, and I just need to finish this project first, and then I'll move to other type of sensors.
But what is the goal? What is the aim at the end? What is what you want to achieve here?
You know, I became a father 4 years ago. And at that time, I have my Alexa XT Plus here at home. I did not shoot any picture of my kid with this camera because too heavy. And that's when I realized that you can have the best camera ever. Sometimes it just doesn't suit your needs. You see, when life happens. And that's why I want to create cameras that are different, okay? Slow down a little bit, you know, not step away from the technological race that we are seeing right now, and build some camera that you want to shoot with, you know? And like Super 8, like for my grandparents. You see what I mean?
You know,
a camera that just you look the camera, you want to use it.
We actually just covered, I think 3 weeks ago or a month ago, a project by 2 Australian brothers. And
the Nexus brothers.
Exactly. This is a fascinating conversation that Nino, my dear colleague, made with them. I don't know if you watched their conversation.
I watched, yeah.
You did. Really inspiring. And I really hope that in time to come, we will be able to jump again on a talk with you if there's a commercial product. But if you could cooperate with any of the manufacturers in our industry, camera manufacturers, do you have any favorite one?
I really like Ari, of course. That's
too big. You can't film your child.
Yeah. So too big and too expensive. I really like what Blackmagic did. You know, I think they moved the market a little bit. I like Fuji because they are a bit different. And I like Panasonic also. I really liked the Varicam, for example. They have done the Varicam. That was a cam that I really, really enjoyed.
You know, I'm laughing a little bit because you almost mentioned all the key players in our industry, but this is fine. At any given time, and I'm very open about it, if you need any more contact with Fujifilm or with Panasonic, please let us know, and we will do our best to connect you. I'm sure that you can offer a very, very different angle of what you want to do, and maybe they will be up to it. You never know, yeah. But of course, if we can help here, and if there's if you can be a bit more defined with your vision, this can help. Good. I mean, that will be fascinating. So eventually, you hope to make your own camera, something that will suit your own personal needs.
Yes, and since I make objects, I can shape, camera for like. I wrote you one day and I told you I see the camera making like surf shapers, okay, or the people that are making guitars, the luthier in French we say, but I don't know the English name. But you see what I mean? You are creating custom objects and custom boards or instruments, and that's something that I really like in this idea, in this project.
But with so much offering right now in the market, you still cannot find the product you're looking for?
No, because we are, I think, in my opinion, now at some point where that's the uniformity of the look, I think. I think cameras are so good now, they are all look almost the same. There are a few differences, of course, I'm not stupid, but we are at some point, I see them almost all looking the same. And I spent a lot of hours in color grading studio because I've color grading a lot, and sometimes the differences between two cameras are quite minimal, if we are honest.
I think one of the reasons, first of all, many of the reputable camera companies, they literally get the sensor from the same vendor or same place. Of course,
Sony.
It's being adjusted and manipulated, and there's a whole layer of programming above it to suit a certain color science. But still, most of them are suffering from this horrible digital look that you mentioned before. It's very clean. There is no way to avoid the noise reduction here. There is no way to get more organic look. And I think this is the main issue for me. I mean, I remember, I think it was already 7, 8, maybe more years ago that I was exposed, or let's say I worked with the original Leica SL camera. That was the first one and that camera had, I was really literally blown away with the quality. And when I talked to the product manager, product engineer, just to understand what they did here, and he said, we simply don't have noise reduction applied to the camera. And later on, it seems to me, and again I cannot verify that Leica went the other way, like using more or cooperating tighter with Panasonic, and maybe in order to reduce some price, using some of the pipeline or color science or whatever it is, even if it looks a bit different, but it felt different. There was no more that organic look. And I could verify that they are doing things differently than the original SL. And sometimes I'm so tempted to go to the Leica shop and check if they still have kind of a leftover original SL, come back to it and retest it and really see if this is still... That's one of the things that I remember from this camera, this organic look. It was very, very strong impression it left on me.
Can I jump on something?
Please.
Yeah. We are also at some point where we have now so much computational computer power, and that's what I found very interesting. If you are using the computing power of today and you are treating old sensor, because you can really use that power to shape the look. That was, I think, much more harder before. You see? And now, because they are all chasing the resolution, so it's always, the sensors are modern, they are big, and the computing power is equal, okay? And when you create a gap, fast computer that interface all the sensor, that's cool. And that's why I am also, with this Bolex project, I am using a Raspberry Pi 5 development board, and I am reaching the limit of the Pi. I have to move to something else. For the Bolex, it's going to be okay, that's fine, everything works. But for what I really want to do, which is recreate in body the film look, I need much more power. And that's the next project.
I think, in a way, we are all obsessed with this combination of film look, lighting, and color science. This is always this triangle that really, and I know exactly what you mean. And we also try in a way to make it, or wish that it would be more accessible. Sometimes it's a bit even harder to describe what we are after in words. But when you see this, you go immediately and say, that's it. That's what I'm after. So, yeah, I mean, really, first of all, of course, best of luck. But when you go to sleep at night, what do you kind of dream about most? Color science, anamorphic lenses, or CCD cameras?
Cameras, yeah, CCD cameras, or CMOS, huh? It's okay. But no, yeah, when I go to sleep, I am thinking about my code, where I am missing something, and yeah. That's what is running on in my brain.
Good, David. Anything else? Because it's a good chance, to talk to us and talk to our audience, of course. Anything else that I missed asking, or you want to highlight about what you do now, or if anybody can help you, just talk to the community. I'm sure that people are listening and they'll be very happy to support you.
I just want to say thank you to all the users that I already have, because I have so many encouraging messages almost every day, and I just want to say thank you for this.
Great. Good, guys.
And thank you to you for having me.
Come on, we are very delighted to have people like you. It's always great to talk to people that are trying to change stuff, do stuff, and democratize even more what we already have and achieved so far. David, best of luck. I really hope that within 1 year or 2 years we can jump on a call again. Of course, we're going to stay in contact and see how we can support you with whatever you want, either it's educational or contact to companies. But other than that, I'm very thankful for the time that you gave us to get to know you and your projects a bit better.
Thank you so much.
Good. Guys, thank you very much for watching. A bit of a different episode this time. Subscribe and like, and most important, please leave comments. I hope that you can show support for David and what he's doing. But until next time, thank you and see you soon.